Hey guys, so gonna do a little bit of a web recommendation here, or YouTube channel, YouTube web recommendation. I'm sure you don't need much recommending for what you see down below to check them out, but if you have yet to hear about them, I highly recommend checking them out because they've been doing this for 5 years, and I got it. I can't, and I got into them basically about a year or two ago, and I think the reason I got into them is because I was looking up information, well, not information, but I was looking up stuff on YouTube, and I think one of the videos got recommended to me. I was like, well, what is this? So I checked it out, and I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting, because what they do is they go to all these different sites across the country, well, not the country, well, yeah, across the country somewhat. I'll get into that in a moment, but also across the world, mostly around California. But when I was watching it, I was like, this is pretty cool, because what they do is they not only talk about, where they're at location-wise, and, visit the places they visit, but they give information on those they talk about. And of course, what I'm talking about, again, the title below probably explains probably already tells you who I'm talking about. And of course, I'm talking about Hollywood Graveyard. And this is a recommendation for a lot of people that probably don't know about it, because it is one of those channels if you watch it, maybe for the first time, it may not be, your cup of tea, because it's kind of like, some people would say it's kind of morbid and everything, and it might be in a sense, but to me, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. Like I said, I discovered it about 2 years ago. I think it was like a little after I was let go from Walmart. I started, and I had a lot of time on my hands, between then and, of course, getting a job at Target, where I'm at currently. That I decided to, look around on YouTube, see what they had, to offer. And like I said, this came up, and I checked it out, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And I let my niece know about it, because her and her fiance kind of like that kind of stuff. My mom, at first kind of was interested in it, but then she thought, it's too depressing and everything. And she's got a right to her opinion and all that, because I'm sure she's not the only one that feels that way. But what's interesting about Hollywood Graveyard is, again, they go to all these different locations of where, different cemeterial locations across California, as well as the world. And not only do they go to these locations and locate by section the celebrity they want to talk about, or the figure of importance that they want to talk about, but they also give you a bit of background information as to who they are, why they're important, why, like what movies and shows they've been in, or what they did historically and stuff. It's really, really interesting, because sometimes you'll watch this kind of stuff, and when you hear what they have to say about this celebrity or this figure or this historical figure and all that, the first thing that goes to your mind is, wow, I didn't know about some of that stuff, which is kind of true. You don't know about that kind of stuff because it doesn't really, like I said, it doesn't really come to your mind, because all maybe a certain celebrity is for this role or that role, or a certain historical figure is for this and that. And honestly, like I said, it's one of those, just checking something there, but honestly, it is one of those kind of a series that dives deep, kind of dives deeper than you would expect it to, when it comes to just paying respects to those that have passed on. And that's the theme of the show. It's like, they just go there to pay respects to those that entertained us, or those that we've learned about, those that have played historical significance in our country, in our world. And the one thing about Hollywood Graveyard is they don't just, like I said, they don't just go and locate cemeteries here in California or on the West Coast. They go across the country. And one of the places they've gone to across the country was New York. And sometimes these trips that they take from from one side of, like, let's say California, or all of the East Coast, like New York and New Jersey, they can go into multi-parts. So they can spend like a month, maybe 2 months, doing these Hollywood graveyard tours, to show to the world. They can spend quite some time, doing. Well, actually not. Actually, correction. It could take more than 1 to 2 months. It could take like several months. Because I think he puts one out every 2 weeks, or every 2 weeks, or every month, depending on his schedule. But it's really intriguing because, again, he goes out of his way. Him and his team go out of the way to do the research and give you more information about certain people that you may or may not know about. In fact, one of his biggest ventures, if you will, out, when it comes to the series, was when he and his team actually, and again I was just checking something there, was when he and his team actually traveled across the sea. They actually traveled across the world to the European countries and all that, and visited the cemeteries there, where certain entertainers and historical figures are laid to rest, interned, and all that. And again, gave us great information that they didn't have to dive deep into researching and finding out about. So that's one of the things that's kept me intrigued into watching this series on and on again anytime a new episode comes out. And there are times that he will, especially when it's here in California, he will revisit, take annual trips, yearly trips back to some of the locations he's been to before. Like, he recently put up, I think, what was it, number 7 or number 5 in his Forest Lawn when he visited Forest Lawn, I think. I think that's what he did. I think it was like, no, it was 7, no, it was number 6. Yeah, it was actually 2 weeks ago. It was actually his 6th trip to Forest Lawn. And the reason he goes there is because, of course, of recent passings, and maybe finding out that, hey, there are other people there that you didn't even know about. So, yeah, he does these annual revisits to all these places, which I think is kind of cool, because, again, just like, the rest of us, he learns about, people there that he didn't know about, and, he does along with his team, he does his research on them. And he gives us and he dives deeper, like I said, into letting us know what they did, and what they did, what they accomplished. And, sometimes it's stuff we don't even know about. Even if we knew about, their roles in movies and shows and stuff, or what they did historically, there are things we didn't know about, and he and his team would dive deep into letting us know about that. Which I think's kind of cool. I think it's neat that they do that. But another thing that I really like about it, though, is he involves the viewers. He involves the audience. And what he does on an annual basis, on a yearly or bi-yearly basis, is he does what's called the Viewers Special. And recently, last month, he wrapped up the 17th edition, or the 17th episode of Viewers Special. And I think this was probably the longest one that he did. I think this was probably the longest one that he did, I think. Let's see. I'm just looking it up right now. Yeah, I think this was like the longest one that he did, because yeah, it started 9 months ago. It actually started 9 months ago, so you got to realize that's like at the beginning of the year, at the end of, last year, the beginning of this year. So it kept going until last month, where it wrapped up, and that was something I think he started a year before, or something like that, or a year before COVID, struck. And I love that concept. I love the fact that you're involving your fans, the people that support you, that give you your views, help your channel get monetized, greatly. I love that idea. I love that fact. And for me, as I just checked something there, for me, it's definitely a reason, in my opinion, to keep checking it out, because what he does is he lets the viewers be part of the program, and show off other parts of the country, if not the world, where, you know, certain figures and, you know, of certain celebrity figures or historical figures are laid to rest. You know, so, you know, it's, you know, he's still doing the narration, he's still doing like the research and all that, but he's allowing us to do the filming for him because financially he can't, you know, fly around, you know, all that, you know, to all these different locations. So he's letting us be the ones to submit, you know, our videos to him, so it feels like he's there, but it's actually us helping him out and kind of being part of the whole the whole series. Basically, like, we're his co-stars, we're part of his team, and I like that, I really do. And I did appreciate the fact that he, in his recent one of the places they visited was Hayward. I really like that, especially the fact that one of the cemeteries they went to was where my grandparents are at, as well as my brother-in-law's, my second older sister's husband's stepfather's at, you know, and that's Lone Tree. So I like that, and I like the fact that, you know, there are celebrities there that we didn't even know about. Like the guy that played the mayor of the Munchkin, you know, the Munchkin City and all that, in Wizard of Oz, is laid to rest there. So that was pretty cool to find out. But yeah, guys, if you have not yet checked out Hollywood Graveyard, I highly recommend you check it out. It is great. You'll probably find out things that are new, that you haven't known about, and who knows? If they ever do another viewer special, maybe your city, your town will be featured with some of the places that, you know, some of the cemeteries and places located in your area where you may or may not know people are laid to rest. I mean, they did Hayward and Turlock and Modesto, and they have people laid to rest there that I didn't even know of. You know, so, and I work in Turlock. My second oldest sister lives in Modesto, so yeah, it was kind of surprising and very informative, and I'm just checking something there again. Trying to do this while my mom's asleep, so. But anyway, guys, like I said, just wanted to come on here, do this little video, YouTube, web recommendation for you guys to check out this channel. If you don't know about it already, it is great. I know it might seem morbid to some people, and that's fine. If it's not your cup of tea, that's fine too. But, you know, even if it's not, you know, cup of tea, and you still kind of find it morbid, I would say just give it one shot, give it one look, and you might find out you might find out that you enjoy it more than you think. So that's all I'm gonna say, guys. Check out again the channel down. You know, check out the channel if you will. I'll try to link it at the end here so you guys can see it for yourselves, as well as super chat in the live chat during the premiere and super thanks afterwards. You can check me out at Venmo at Brian-Warmer-2 and at Cash App at BWRoses98. But guys, check out Hollywood Graveyard. I think you will enjoy it. And until then, I'll talk to you later.